alike in appearance and in each utterance and movement. The relationship between human and machine lies at the core of science fiction, the core of the present book, and the core of the very definition of machine intelligence. One famous test of machine intelligence, the so-called Turing test, was developed by computer pioneer Alan Turing in 1950. The test posits that if a human is conducting a conversation with an intelligent agent and is unable to distinguish whether it is a machine or a real human, then the machine has truly reached a level of demonstrable human-level artificial intelligence. The Turing test has dominated thinking about machine intelligence for 3 generations. I will argue that this highly intuitive model is actually misleading and wrong-headed. But first, back to Hollywood. What is unique in the movie scene is that the director invites the viewer to experience the exchange from the point of view of the robot. And that twist makes it especially important for our central argument. The viewer's first impression is that this data display thing is interesting. The display provides helpful stuff. The first motorcycle encountered is not appropriate for your needs. The biker dude in front of you is just the right size. Then you realize that this data display scenario makes no sense. The central processing system of the robot is digital, of course. Why would one part of the machine type out a text overlay display, in English no less, for the visual system to scan, interpret, and send information back to the central processing system about appropriate resultant behavior? It would be crazy, convoluted, error-prone, inefficient design. But this is Hollywood, and the task at hand is making an engaging movie. Cue the grinding guitars. But wait a minute. From a human's point of view, if you had a digital helper, that's how you would do it. Augmented intelligence to help you interpret your environment. A visual overlay of graphics or text. Maybe an electronic voice only you can hear reminds you of critically important information. In my thinking, this surreal movie scene dramatically displays a central element of what I'm going to argue is a critical stage of evolution in the human cognitive system. Reimagine a scene with 2 humans communicating. Each person has digital glasses or digital contact lenses with an overlay displaying relevant information. Perhaps the 2 individuals would be exchanging stories, but may have forgotten important details. Or they might be negotiating and need background information about the deal at hand. Or, if they were playing poker, each might try to interpret the other's emotional state, or might need to calculate the odds of a straight flush given the cards already played. A little extra information would be useful. We start our journey in this book by recounting a famous scene from an iconic Hollywood action movie. Why that scene? 3 reasons, actually. First, the Terminator motion picture franchise, reportedly earning about $500 million in box office revenues, represents a classic and persistent trope in popular fiction's portrayal of the interaction of humans and smart machines. They are at war. Second, as noted, this particular scene offers a rare, perhaps unprecedented audience view from the eyes of the machine rather than the human. It starts to blur the we are at war scenario and psychology. Third, as an innovative narrative invention to distinguish this second movie in the series from the first, Schwarzenegger's character is returning from the future to help the movie's protagonist rather than harm him. Of course, this is an action movie, so we need an antagonist who is duly supplied in the form of another particularly nasty shape-shifting robot. And, as one might predict, the Schwarzenegger character provides help to the human protagonist, primarily in the form of brawn rather than brains. But it's a start in thinking in a new direction, a direction that will guide our journey. This is a serious book about what comes next as human ingenuity conjures up increasingly sophisticated technologies. And there is, as is often the case, a paradox. As we invent new things, we are not always sure what to do with them, how to use them effectively, how to avoid having these new gizmos controlling us rather than the other way around. A quick look back at the